Hey, it's your girl Diamond from Goddess Arise. So today I'm coming to you with the story of Delilah. Now the story of Delilah can be found in the Bible in the book of Judges, Judges 13 through 16 to be exact. Now, for those who are not familiar, Delilah was a Philistine woman who was bribed by the Philistine lords to uncover the secret of Samson's strength. Now, Samson was a man of God, but his weakness was women. He gave in to the nagging of women who have shown him and proven to him that they were or that they would betray him, but yet he loved treacherous women. Now, after failing to trick him 3 times, not once, not twice, but 3 times, Samson finally revealed his strength, his secret to his strength, which came from his hair. So Samson had 7 locks that he has been growing his hair since he was born, and he was dedicated to God from birth. Now he had 7 locks in his hair. Now with this knowledge, Delilah had Samson's locks cut off while he slept in her lap. Now at that point, God left him, causing him to lose his supernatural strength, which allowed the Philistines to capture him. Now, when they caught him, they gouged out his eyes, blinded him, and threw him in prison in Gaza, and forced him to grind grain while he was bound by God's chain. Now, um, during his capture, the Philistines they held a feast to praise their god, which was Dagon, and Dagon was known as the provider of grain, vegetation, and fertility, and he was depicted as a merman, a half fish and half man. Now, in ancient mythology, Dagon was the father of Baal. Now, the followers of Baal engage in human and child sacrifices. Now, stay with me. All of this will make sense. You have to follow the series of these videos, and it will all come together. Now, during this feast, they wanted to make fun and taunt Samson, so they brought Samson out, and they poked fun of him about how their god Dagon allowed them to have victory over their enemy, Samson. Now, Samson stood between these 2 pillars that held the temple up, and he prayed one last time for God to give him strength to have victory over the Philistines. Now, with that prayer, the temple did come crashing down with all the Philistine lords and about 3,000 men and women. Now, when we talk about Samson and Delilah, it is a story about a cautionary tale to both men and both women. It is a tale about betrayal, temptation, and the danger of giving in to those who seek to destroy you. Now, the Delilah Spirit is a spirit that can be used interchangeably. A man can be possessed with the Delilah Spirit, a woman can be possessed with the Delilah Spirit. It is not an entity, but it is a spirit that can use an individual to cause them to be manipulative or deceitful. Now, some of the things that we can do to protect ourselves from these kind of engaging in these kind of spirits, like I spoke about the Leviathan spirit, you need to guard your heart. A lot of times, we open ourselves to destruction because we let our guards down around the people that we trust, around the people that we think love us as much as we love them. We have to learn to resist temptation. And I know temptation is all around us. Nowadays, even young kids are being tempted, and it is up to us to resist temptation. Resisting temptation is not hard. We always can ask God to help us in those times where temptation is too great for us to deal with. Okay. Now we need to recognize the power of sin. A lot of times people don't see things as sinful because it's been a habit that they've engaged in for so long. So they don't think that it's a sinful act or a sinful thing because, hey man, this is how I've always been. This is who I am. Blase, blase. No, it's a sinful nature to be manipulative. It's a sinful nature to be deceptive around people. Now, during those times, we are weak when we're being manipulative, deceptive, or even when we are allowing ourselves to be controlled by manipulation or deception. And during those times, we can always call to God for His strength because true strength comes from God. It doesn't come from anybody's personal abilities, whatever magic it is that they're able to do. It does not come from an outward appearance, how someone looks, how someone dresses. You can dress holier than thou, and God does not live within that being. But true strength comes from the Most High. Now, following God's commandments and walking by faith and not by sight is what is going to help us get through these destructive behaviors and chaos in our lives. Now, walking by faith and not by sight is exactly what Samson did. He no longer had his sight to see what was going on around him, to see who was around him, but yet he used the faith that he had, the faith that he knew, to call upon God for God to bring destruction to those who took his lives from him. Now, we can't let our feelings for individuals to misguide us. We can't let our feelings stray us from God because we love this individual, because we have such a long connection with such individual, to keep that away from God. Now, we need to learn to discern loyalty. A lot of times, people don't know what loyalty is. People think that, oh, yeah, being with somebody for so long is being loyal. No. When the thought of crossing the person would come between you and the person at a drop of a dime, that's not being loyal. But you, as an individual, you have to guard your heart, and you have to be able to discern those around you if they're loyal or not. Like, stop letting years of friendship and bond keep you from seeing the person's true nature. Um, Now, this is where Samson failed many times, because he failed to recognize Delilah as a pretender. As many times as she called the guards on him when she thought he was telling her the truth about his strength, he let that slide. And it's like, how do you let that slide when she called the guards 3 times on him? So of course, when he finally told her the truth, he was able to be captured. Now, be careful about placing your trust in those who might lead you away from God, and that's exactly what Samson did to Delilah. And we have to expose those around us who are not loyal. We have to expose those around us who are pretenders. We have to expose those around us who don't have our highest good at heart. A lot of times people have their best interests at play when they're preying on your downfall. And it's up to you, for you to be able to discern such individuals and remove yourself from, those people, those places, and those things that will cause your destruction. Now, um, yeah, we can't be deceived by people's appearance, and we can't be deceived by false affection. Like, I've had a lot of fake love around me, and I've had a lot of fake love that was ready to end me. So it was not up to them to save me. It was up to me to save myself. And I had to remove myself out of the situation. I had to remove myself away from those individuals and those men, even if it was family, even if it was friends, and even if it was lovers. Like, deuces, sayonara, I'm gone, I'm out. you know? So now, despite Samson's failures, God forgave him. And God forgave him because God did come to his aid when he called on him to end the, the Philistines. Now, God can use wicked wicked people and flawed individuals to accomplish his purpose. And a lot of times, God does not seek to destroy us. He seeks to awaken us. He seeks to enlighten us of those around us. He seeks to enlighten us of the situation that we are in, for us to open our eyes and to discern if this is for your highest good or if this is straying you away from Him. Now, God's strength is available to the weak. And when we say weak, we all are weak when it comes to our sinful natures. And those who rely on God, even when they are weak and struggling with their own sin, God will hear you. God will hear your cry if you open heartedly come to Him with an open heart and ask Him to help you in your time of need. God will help you. Now, a lot of times people feel like, they're not worthy of it, or they don't know God enough. A bum on the street can cry out to God, and because his heart is open and his heart is ready to receive God, his prayer will be answered. And that's all it takes. It takes the faith of a mustard seed, like really, really small, itty bitty. You feel me? So now, we do need to pray against manipulative and deceitful beings that are seeking to destroy us. I will have a link to my blog down below that you can go. I will link a prayer that you can pray that will help, to ask God to expose those who are seeking to destroy you in your life. And when He does start showing you these people, please take it for what it is and not feel like, okay, nah, I don't think that she wouldn't. Listen, that kept me in a cycle for many, many, many years, because I just would not believe that this being would cross me, that this being would try to destroy me. When God was like, "You big dummy, yes, this is what they're doing." And once you really start accepting it, is when God can really come into your life and really start making those changes for you. All right. So thank you guys for hearing me. And as always, it's love always and always, 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 always love. All right. Y'all have a good day. And until next time.